There's a quiet pattern to everything you have ever desired. It begins not with the world outside you, but with a whisper that rises inside your mind. A subtle pull, a feeling that something could be, and somehow it should be. Every invention, every relationship, every dream that ever came to life began as this invisible whisper. And yet, most people never stop long enough to feel the shape of that whisper within them. They chase what they see and forget what first imagined seeing. Pause for a moment. Think of a time when something you wanted seemed to find its way to you, as if the universe quietly rearranged itself. Was it luck, coincidence, or something deeper, a law we sense but cannot name? The science of manifestation lives in that quiet question, not in superstition or blind belief, but in the way consciousness organizes reality itself. Neuroscience tells us that your brain doesn't simply record reality, it predicts it. Every second, it constructs an inner model of the world, blending memory, emotion, and expectation. Your perception is not the world as it is, but as your mind believes it to be. And this is where manifestation begins. Because what you expect, what you emotionally prepare for, becomes the filter through which you meet reality. It is not magic. It is attention. It is energy. It is resonance. The quantum field, the very fabric of existence, doesn't separate thought and matter as we do. At the smallest scale, energy and consciousness blur. Observation shapes the outcome. Focus alters probability. And so, what you hold consistently in your mind begins to move from imagination into possibility, and from possibility into form. Most people misunderstand manifestation as wishful thinking, as if merely wanting is enough. But wanting comes from lack, and lack is resistance. True manifestation doesn't begin with wanting. It begins with alignment, when your mind, emotion, and inner energy vibrate as if the desired state were already real. Pause and breathe into that. How would it feel if what you desired were already yours? Not as fantasy, but as presence. What happens in your body when you stop chasing and begin embodying? You see, your subconscious cannot distinguish between imagination and experience. The same neural pathways fire. The same hormones circulate. When you truly feel what you desire, as if it is real, you instruct your nervous system to harmonize with that vibration. Your behavior subtly changes. Your perception shifts. You begin to notice opportunities, patterns, people, invisible before, that match your inner frequency. That is not coincidence. That is the brain's reticular activating system, filtering billions of stimuli every moment and prioritizing what aligns with your dominant emotion. The universe responds not to words, but to vibration. Not to what you say you want, but to what you are. So the science of manifestation begins as inner work, a reprogramming of emotional frequency. And it is not easy, because most of what we think we desire is noise created by unmet emotion. We wish for wealth to feel safe, love to feel worthy, freedom to feel control. But manifestation requires you to bypass the disguise and go straight to the essence. Ask yourself not what do I want, but what experience am I trying to feel? The universe doesn't give you the object. It gives you the state of consciousness that creates it. When you tune to abundance, you become a magnet for situations that reflect abundance. When you vibrate in fear, you unconsciously construct more of what you fear. Pause again, feel the paradox. You cannot manifest from need. You can only manifest from wholeness. So the first step is silence, stillness, a moment of turning inward until the noise of not yet fades, until your mind grows quiet enough to sense the subtle pulse beneath, the rhythm of what already is. When people talk about visualization, this is what they misunderstand. It is not a performance of pretending. It is an alignment of frequency. You are not tricking the universe. You are teaching yourself to perceive from the level where the outcome already exists. From the biological lens, this is neuroplasticity, the brain reshaping itself through focused emotion. From the psychological lens, it is belief formation, the subconscious reprogramming itself to see and act differently. From a spiritual lens, it is vibration, the soul remembering its ability to call form from formlessness. Different languages, one truth. There is an energy that runs through you when your intention becomes pure. Not desperate, not self-serving, but clear, expansive, luminous. That is the state in which manifestation becomes effortless. Not because the world bends to you, but because you and the world were never separate. Breathe gently here. Let that idea sink deeper. If your mind and the universe are made of the same fundamental field, then every thought is already a ripple in that ocean. Every emotion, a vibration that moves through that field, touching and shaping reality in ways your senses cannot measure. Manifestation is not creation. It is recognition, the act of becoming aware of what is already available in potential form. When you shift your awareness, the potential collapses into reality. Not all at once, not by force, but by coherence. Scientists have observed coherence in systems as small as electrons and as large as human hearts. When multiple vibrations synchronize, energy flows without resistance. When your mind, heart, and intention synchronize, that same flow happens through you. This is not metaphor. It is measurable. HeartMath Institute found that the electromagnetic field of the human heart can influence brainwave patterns, emotion, and even the neural activity of people nearby. Imagine that, your emotional coherence influencing the world around you. Now imagine what happens when millions of coherent minds focus on peace, healing, or abundance. Reality itself begins to bend. But coherence cannot be faked. You cannot demand alignment while internally divided. You must become what you seek. This is why ancient mystics and modern psychologists speak of surrender, not as passivity, but as attunement. Surrender means you stop fighting the flow of what already wants to manifest through you. It means trusting the rhythm of time, the intelligence of energy, and the silence between each breath. Pause here. Listen to the stillness behind these words. That silence, that awareness watching, is the field itself. And when you manifest from there, you do not grasp, you do not beg. You become a vessel of resonance, a translator of infinite potential into the physical now. In the next moments, reflect gently on one desire. Not the one born of fear, but the one that feels like truth. Hold it without words, without pictures, just the emotion of it already being here. Notice what happens inside your body, perhaps a warmth, a lightness, or stillness. That is coherence beginning. The science of manifestation isn't a mystery to be solved. It's a relationship to be remembered, between thought and matter, between energy and awareness, between you and everything that listens back when you think. And as you let these words settle, realize, you have never been separate from what you desire. You were only asleep to your own creative power. Perhaps that is the real secret. That manifestation is not about changing reality. It is about waking up inside it. Pause, slow breath. And when you do, reality starts responding, not because it suddenly loves you, but because it always did. There comes a moment in every seeker's path when manifestation ceases to feel like a technique and begins to feel like a remembering, as if something ancient inside you is slowly awakening. A presence that whispers, "You've been doing this all along." Because every emotion you've ever felt has been a broadcast, every thought a signal, and every belief a filter shaping what that signal returns to you. When you understand this, manifestation becomes less about control and more about clarity. The universe does not respond to confusion. It mirrors coherence. It echoes emotion more than it listens to words. Close your eyes for a moment and think of something you deeply desire, not as a sentence, but as a vibration, the feeling tone of it. Can you sense it? That subtle charge in your chest or stomach. That is your signal. That is the language reality understands. What you feel consistently becomes your frequency. And your frequency is your broadcast into the quantum field. In neuroscience, this is called emotional conditioning. In spirituality, it's vibration. In psychology, it's belief embodiment. But all of it points to the same truth. The outer world reflects the inner pattern. Now here's where most people stumble. They visualize with their mind, but contradict it with their energy. They say, I am abundant, but the body tightens in fear. They affirm, I am loved, but the subconscious whispers, I am not enough. So the field receives mixed signals. The message becomes static. Nothing manifests because everything conflicts. The secret is not to force a new thought. It is to teach the body a new emotion. Emotion is the bridge between mind and matter. It is what anchors imagination into physiology. To change your emotion, you must become aware of your body's memorized past. Every unprocessed feeling, grief, guilt, fear, resentment, acts as a stored vibration that keeps projecting the same pattern outward. You are not failing to manifest. You are not failing to manifest. You are simply manifesting what your nervous system still believes is safe. Pause here. Take a slow breath in. Feel the weight of your body. Now imagine exhaling old emotion, not erasing it, but releasing its grip. Every breath becomes a tiny act of alignment. The body learns safety through repetition. So as you rewire emotion, calmness, trust, gratitude, you are reprogramming the biology of manifestation. Oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. These chemicals begin to sculpt new neural circuits. And when the brain, heart, and emotions synchronize, coherence deepens. That's the state where intuition heightens, coincidences multiply, and the impossible begins to organize itself. It's not that you are summoning magic. It's that you're stepping into resonance with a deeper intelligence that has always been creating through you. Every time you've had a strong, intuitive pull, to call someone, to take a path, to say yes, that was coherence whispering. Manifestation isn't about demanding reality to obey you. It's about listening to what reality is already inviting you to co-create. You can feel this in nature. The way a seed doesn't strain to grow. The way water finds its path through rock, not by force, but by persistence and flow. You're made of that same intelligence. When you stop resisting the present, life starts moving through you like a current. That current is the real creative power. The more you surrender to it, the more naturally things align. But surrender doesn't mean apathy. It means releasing tension while remaining fully present. It means acting from clarity instead of anxiety. Now, let's turn inward again. Think of one situation in your life that feels blocked or stagnant. Rather than pushing against it, imagine expanding your awareness around it. Don't try to fix it, just allow it. You may feel resistance, tightness, maybe sadness. That's okay. That is energy asking to be witnessed. As you breathe through it, you're already transmuting it. Every time you allow emotion without judgment, you liberate energy back into flow. This process, emotional transmutation, is the foundation of manifestation. Because until emotion is free, your focus remains trapped in the past. And creation can only happen from the present. Many ancient traditions knew this truth long before science could explain it. They taught that the heart was the bridge between heaven and earth, between spirit and form. And now, modern research shows that the electromagnetic field of the heart extends several feet beyond the body. When the heart is coherent, the brain synchronizes and perception expands. You literally see reality differently. This is why gratitude is such a powerful state for manifestation. It preconditions the heart to coherence. It says to the field, I already have. And so the field responds with here is more. If you can truly feel gratitude for what has not yet arrived, you collapse the distance between desire and experience. You step into the same vibrational state as fulfillment itself. From that space, what you seek begins to move toward you, drawn by resonance, not effort. You may wonder, does this mean that thought alone can heal, attract, or transform physical matter? The answer lies not in belief, but in understanding energy. Thought is electric. Emotion is magnetic. Together, they create an electromagnetic signature. a blueprint for reality to follow. We see this reflected in spontaneous remission cases, where individuals who truly believe and feel healed trigger measurable physiological shifts. Cells respond to new emotional frequencies. Immune systems recalibrate. Genes express differently. It's not mysticism, it's biology catching up to consciousness. And yet, the paradox remains. The more you chase an outcome, the further it drifts. Because chasing comes from lack. Letting go allows alignment. So what do? We practice intentional creation, not from control, but from communion. We visualize not to escape the present, but to amplify its potential. We align emotion not to trick the universe, but to remind ourselves of what already exists in unseen form. Pause again. Imagine you are standing before a vast mirror made of light. Everything you feel reflects instantly, not as punishment or reward, but as feedback. When you smile inwardly, the mirror glows warmer. When you radiate calm, certainty, the image sharpens into form. When you fear, it blurs, only to invite you to realign again. The science of manifestation, in its deepest sense, is not about power. It is about intimacy with your own consciousness, with existence itself. When you live in that intimacy, every event, even the unwanted, becomes guidance. Every delay becomes refinement. Every ending, a redirection toward coherence. So if you're watching this now, remember, manifestation is not a skill you must learn. It is a natural state you must remember. Every breath is creation. Every thought is a wave. Every emotion is an instruction to the field. The question is, are you broadcasting from fear or from love? The moment you choose love, not sentimentally, but energetically, your vibration changes. In reality, ever responsive, begins to echo it back. Let that awareness rest gently inside you now. Feel it, a quiet, golden hum beneath the chest, the space where intention and peace meet. That is the field speaking. That is you, as creator, not by effort, but by being. And as you carry this awareness beyond this moment, into your work, your relationships, your silence, remember, manifestation is not what you do. It is what naturally happens when who you are and what you believe finally match. There is no secret technique. There is only presence. And presence is everything. Pause for silence. If these words have stirred something within you, if they've reminded you of your own quiet power, then allow this journey to continue beyond this moment. At BrainSpire 360, we explore the unseen architecture of the human mind, the bridge between psychology and consciousness, science and spirit. If you felt resonance here, if you believe in awakening the full potential of the human mind, then take a breath, click subscribe, and join this growing circle of thinkers, seekers, and dreamers who are learning not just to understand the mind, but to become it, because the next video may just shift what you think is possible. Until then, stay aware, stay aligned, and remember, the universe is always listening.